When we migrated to Canada, some parents come here when they're in their 40s, and some of them, they don't want to go back to school, and they end up tackling 2 to 3 menial jobs, both mom and dad. So by the time they get home, they are tired. They don't have time to invest in their kids. They don't have time to orientate their kids. And that is a mistake that a lot of black parents do make. They just rely on principals, guidance counselors, and the teachers, the school staff in general, to do their work. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that I got to experience, and I want to share it with you guys today so that some parents out there won't make the same mistakes with their kids. Some new immigrants coming in from other countries too won't make the same mistake with their kids. Like for instance, someone like me, I'm based in Canada, but you might be in the US, you might be in Europe, but I think it's basically the same thing. Most kids have done high school around 18, 17, if you are really good at school, and 19. So for me, I was done high school at 17. But I was done, it was a good thing to be done, but I was completely lost. I was so lost to the point that I did not even know what to do with myself. I wasn't orientated. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know in what direction to head in. I knew I was done high school, but my grades and all the courses that I took in high school were not really matching up with a lot of things, all right? And let me explain. Someone like me, I mainly wanted to be either a chef or a police officer, but my parents wanted me to be a nurse, and I knew that nursing wasn't for me. Nursing was the last thing on my mind. I'm nurturing, but I'm not nurturing in that way. I'm much more nurturing in a way that I love cooking for people. I have passion for food. I love putting stuff together, and I love people appreciating it, and I love people enjoying all that stuff. I knew that about myself because even when I look back at my journey in my teens, in my 20s, when I look back, most menial jobs that I did since I was 15, it was always in the food industries. And I didn't even work in those little restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, and all that stuff, Tim Hortons. No, I always worked in big restaurants, all right, well-known restaurants in the city. I always found my way in. One way or another, I always found my way in. And that's how I knew I was destined for the kitchen. But my family didn't really understand. They wanted me to enter the medical field. But I also think it's because it was quite confusing for them, because in a way, I was good at chemistry, I was good at physics, and I was good at math. And I was also good in biology, but I wasn't really that good in biology too. I was always in my 60s, because over here they grade us based on percentage. I was always at 68% with biology, but when it came to chemistry, physics, math, I was always in 75 to maybe like 79%. But I know the reason why I wasn't that good in biology. I know the reason why. It's because I hate reading. If you want to hide something from me, put it in a book. I will not find it. You have succeeded. I'm not going to find it. But give me anything that has to do with solving, that has to do with calculations, that has to do with equations. I love those things. Anything that is quick and fast. My brain doesn't like complications. So anything that has to do with literature, history, I wasn't interested. But when you sit me down like this and tell me that do this equation, my brain now relax. My brain is going to be enjoying it. But where I got stuck is that, like I said in some of my previous videos, my dad is the one that used to really help me when it came to school when I was younger. So when my parents got separated, a lot of shakiness happened there. Because I still feel up to today that if my dad was in my life, even with the strictness, I would have gone very far. The only place that I saw myself in the scientific world working was to become maybe, I always had a pilot in mind. A pilot, or to become a lab tech, or let's say an IT or something. Because those are the only things where I could see myself. But I didn't see myself becoming a nurse, becoming a medical doctor, all those kind of things. To me, I find that very boring, and I find that very, I don't know, I don't have that patience, all right? I didn't have that patience, and I didn't find it fun. So like I said, I feel like my parents separating really affected me in that area. That's why I couldn't really focus like that. And you know, when we migrated to Canada too, it happens to a lot of parents, especially black parents. When we migrated to Canada, some parents come here when they're in their 40s, and some of them, they don't want to go back to school, and they end up tackling 2 to 3 menial jobs, both mom and dad. So by the time they get home, they are tired. They don't have time to invest in their kids. They don't have time to orientate their kids. They don't have time to check on whatever is going on. They don't really care. It's not that they don't care, but at the end of the day, they are too tired. They don't have time for all those things, and they believe that you're an adult now, you're 17, you're 18, you should be able to handle that. And most of them too, they rely on guidance counselors in school, because guidance counselors in Canada here, for instance, on this side of the world, abroad here in general, guidance counselors, they are supposed to help guide your kids. They're supposed to look at your kids' grades and be able to determine what path that kid should take. And sometimes they can decide to have conversations with the parents to be like, okay, listen, I noticed that your kid is good in art, your kid is good in science, your kid is good in this, so your kid should be heading this way. But you cannot just rely on the guidance counselor. I'm sorry, as a parent, you can't just rely on the guidance counselor. And that is a mistake that a lot of black parents, I'm mainly going to focus on black parents, do make. That's a mistake that a lot of black parents do. They just rely on principals, guidance counselors, and the teachers, the school staff in general to do their work, which is very wrong. When your kid comes home, you need to try your best to assist them with their homeworks, assist them with their projects. Because on this side of the world, it's mainly projects. It's from projects that you get to see what your kid is up to in school. You need to assist your kids with projects. Check on them, look at their grades, talk to them, tell them that, okay, this thing is not looking good and everything. What is happening here? Why are you so weak in this area and why are you so strong in this area? Ask them what is happening. But most parents, like I said, they don't have time for that. But you need to make time for that. Because you try to shoot too many birds with one stone and you end up losing everything. You're working those 2-3 menial jobs and later on in life you end up getting sick. Those kids too, some of them end up becoming drug dealers, some of them end up becoming sex workers, some of them end up losing themselves to drugs themselves, some of them they end up not achieving their full potential in life when they were actually smart. It's just because at home there is no focus. At home there's no discipline. At home everybody just do whatever they want to do on day-to-day basis, which is very wrong. So you need to help your kids, you need to guide them, you need to orientate your kids. When they give you meetings at school for you to meet with teachers and guidance counselors and all that stuff, go for those meetings. They are very important in guiding your kids. You cannot rely on the school staff because there's so much you can do. You need to help them to help you. You can't just something that you, the parent, cannot do for your child. It's not an outsider that's going to do it for your child. I'm sorry. It's not an outsider that's going to do it for your child. You have to help them to help you in everything you do. If you need help, you need to help someone to help you. You can't expect the person to just do magic and make things happen for you. That's not how life works, all right?